Kill the translator. How to think in the language of power. Listen closely. Can you hear it? That suffocating silence that follows every time someone asks you a question in English, that is not just a pause. That is the sound of your potential dying in real time. You are standing on the edge of a conversation. Your heart is racing. Your palms are sweating. And inside your brain, there is a frantic, desperate scramble. You are searching. You are digging through the archives of your memory, trying to find the right word, the right tense, the right structure. You are a prisoner in the desert of logic, and your captor is a voice you have trusted for far too long. That voice is the translator, and today, together, we are going to commit a murder. We are going to kill the translator that lives in your head. Look at your life. You have studied for years. You have memorized thousands of words. You know more grammar rules than most native speakers will ever learn in their entire lives. Yet, when the moment comes to speak, you feel like a ghost. You feel like a shadow of the person you actually are. You are trapped in a cycle of think, translate, speak, regret. You think in your native tongue. You translate it into a cold, clinical English. You speak it with hesitation, and then you spend the rest of the night regretting how stupid you sounded. This is not just a language problem. This is a survival crisis. You are living as a slave to your own intelligence. You are trying to build a bridge across a canyon using nothing but toothpicks and fear. But the oasis is calling. The oasis is that place of silent power where words flow like blood through your veins. Unconscious, natural, and vital. Why does it feel so hard? Why does the English language feel like a wall you keep hitting your head against? It is because you have been taught that English is a subject to be mastered by the brain. They lied to you. English is not a subject. English is a physical embodiment. It is a neural coup d'état. It is a sensory revolution. To find your voice, you must first lose your mind. You must let go of the safety of the dictionary. You must abandon the comfort of being correct. You must be willing to walk into the raw, brutal heat of the desert without a map, because only when you are truly lost, only when your logic finally fails you, will your instinct wake up. And your instinct is the only thing that can lead you to the water. This is the English Oasis. This is not a classroom. This is a sanctuary for the warriors who are tired of being silent. This is for the ones who are ready to stop learning and start being. We are going to rewire your nervous system. We are going to bypass your frontal lobe. We are going to move this language from the paper into your muscles, into your breath, and into your soul. If you are looking for a gentle lesson, leave now. But if you are looking for a rebirth, if you are looking to reclaim the legacy that was stolen from you by a broken education system, then listen to my voice. The coup begins now. The translator dies today. Welcome to your new life. Look deep into your own eyes in the mirror. What do you see? I see someone who is exhausted. I see a soul withering away in the scorching heat of the logic desert. You have been wandering there for far too long. All those years spent sitting in rigid classrooms, all those heavy grammar books, the endless tables of irregular verbs, none of that was water. It was sand. It was dry, suffocating sand that you have been trying to swallow, hoping it would quench your thirst for communication. But what is the reality? The more you study, the more you feel parched. The harder you try to be correct, the more silent you become. Why? Why is it that a person as intelligent as you, someone who can lead a company, someone who understands complex philosophies, becomes like a helpless child the moment they face a native speaker? The answer isn't in your brain. It is in the prison you built for yourself. That prison is called translation. Listen closely. Every time you prepare to open your mouth, a neural autopsy, a clinical dissection, takes place in your mind. You have an idea in your native tongue. Then, the translator inside your head wakes up. He wears a white lab coat, holds a sharp scalpel, and begins to tear that idea apart. He checks if this noun fits with that preposition. He fumbles around trying to decide if the present perfect or the past simple is the safe choice. He is terrified of the scars of a mistake. And while he is busy dissecting the dead corpse of language, the moment of connection dies. The person in front of you loses interest. Their eyes drift away. And you? You stand there with a pile of broken vocabulary in your hands, feeling like a failure. This isn't learning. This is an execution. This is the life of a slave to rules. A slave who is always looking over their shoulder, fearing the whip of judgment. I am here to bring you a coup d'etat, a total revolution of your nervous system. We are not going to learn another grammar rule today. We are going to burn the bilingual dictionaries. We are going to execute the translator hiding in your frontal lobe. My promise to you is not that I will help you speak perfect English. Perfection is a mirage in the desert. My promise is to help you find your silent power, a state where the thought and the sound are one, a state where English is no longer a code to be decrypted, but a sense to be felt. Do you have to translate the feeling of a cold wind on your skin? No. You feel it directly. Do you have to translate the red colour of blood from a wound? No. You see it. Why? Then, do you force your soul to go through a toll booth called translation every time you want to speak? Imagine a rebirth, a morning where you wake up and English sounds are no longer foreign symbols to be decoded. They are waves crashing against your mind, and you react instinctively like a predator. No hesitation, no fear. Your heart stays calm even when you make a mistake, because you know that fluency does not live in correctness. It lives in continuity. This is the difference between the Oasis warrior and the slave to logic. The warrior accepts the scars. The warrior embraces proudly broken English, because it is through those cracks that the light of the truth shines. But the slave? They would rather be perfectly silent than imperfectly heard. Which side do you choose? Do you choose to stay on your knees in the desert of logic, or do you stand tall and walk into the oasis of instinct? This transformation will be brutal. It requires you to kill your intellectual ego. You must be willing to sound like a fool before you can speak like a king. You must let the old version of yourself die, the version that cares what people think of your level, the version that needs to translate to feel safe. Safety is the death of fluency. Fluency only grows in the soil of risk. This is a neural revolution. We are building shortcuts in your brain, connecting your heart directly to your jaw, bypassing the control center that has been holding you back. You will find yourself saying things you didn't even know you knew. That is when the oasis appears. That is when you truly begin to live in English. But let me ask you the most savage question of all. Do you actually have the courage to let go of control? Or do you secretly cling to the translator because you're afraid that without it, you are nothing? Look closely at that fear. That is the final barrier between you and freedom. If you are ready to kill the translator, if you are ready to make English your blood and bone, then walk with me. The oasis is not for the hesitant. It is for those who burn the bridge back to the desert. Are you ready for the coup? If your answer is yes, then mark this moment. Tell yourself, I do not study English. I live in English. Now, we begin to build the system of a warrior. The philosophy has set your soul on fire. Now, we must give that fire a chimney. We must channel that raw energy into a tactical system that destroys the old machinery of your brain. This is the neural coup d'etat. We are going to dismantle the translator's workshop and build a fortress of instinct. Listen to me. Knowledge is not power. Application is power. Here is how you reclaim your voice. Step 1. The noun siege. Look around you right now. Your brain is likely labeling everything in your native tongue. This is treason. From this second, every object you see must be stripped of its old name and baptized in the language of the oasis. Window, floor, pen, dust. Do not use full sentences yet. Sentences are complex structures that invite the translator back into the room. I want raw, punchy nouns. Hit the object with the sound. When you touch a cold glass of water, do not think about the grammar of thirst. Simply say, cold. Water. You are building a direct neural highway from the sensory input to the English output. If you do this 500 times a day, the translator will begin to starve. He has nothing to do because you are moving too fast for him. You are saturating your reality until the physical world itself starts speaking English to you. This is how you reclaim the terrain. Step 2. The shadow monologue. You talk to yourself constantly. It is the never-ending stream of consciousness that defines your day. Until now, that voice has been your enemy. It has been the primary source of your translation habit. We are going to hijack it. I want you to narrate your life like a documentary of a warrior. As you wake up, do not think. Speak. I am standing. I am walking to the kitchen. The coffee is hot. It sounds simple. It sounds primitive. Good. You need to be primitive. You need to return to the root of sound. When you are stuck in traffic, do not let your mind drift back to the desert. Describe the cars. Describe your frustration. Red car. Slow. I am angry. If you don't know a word, do not, I repeat, do not reach for your phone. Do not look at a dictionary. That is a hit of dopamine for the translator. Instead, use the words you already have to surround the target. If you forget the word for refrigerator, call it the cold box for food. This is called circumlocution. It is the highest skill of a survivor. It forces your brain to stay in the English zone, finding paths through the forest instead of calling for a helicopter. This is how you build the silent power of resourcefulness. Step 3. The physicality of the breath. English is not a mental exercise. It is an athletic performance. Your native language has sculpted the muscles of your face in a specific way. It has taught your tongue to be lazy or your jaw to be tight. To speak the language of power, you must change your anatomy. I want you to feel the air coming from your diaphragm, not your throat. When you speak, I want you to over-enunciate every th and every r. I want your jaw to feel the strain. If you are not physically tired after 10 minutes of speaking, you are not doing it right. You are just whispering in the shadows. Stand up straight. Open your chest. The way you hold your body dictates the way you hold your tongue. A slave slumps. A warrior stands tall. Speak to the walls. Speak to the wind. Let the vibrations of the English language shake your very bones. You are training your muscles to remember the path so that when you are under pressure, your body takes over while your mind stays calm. This is muscle memory. This is the end of hesitation. Step 4. The input drowning. You must submerge yourself until the desert is a distant memory. Stop studying English for an hour a day. That is a hobby. This is an obsession. Change your phone settings. Change your social media feed. Surround yourself with the sounds of the Oasis even when you aren't listening. Let the podcasts run while you sleep. Let the movies play while you cook. You are not trying to understand the plot. You are absorbing the music. You are soaking in the rhythm, the intonation, and the raw vibe of the language. Your brain is a pattern recognition machine. If you give it enough data, it will start to predict the next word before it is even spoken. You will start to feel what is right before you know why it is right. This is the birth of intuition. This is when the translator finally realizes he is no longer needed. He will pack his bags and leave, and in his place, you will find a version of yourself that is unstoppable. Now, look at the system I have laid out for you. It is brutal. It is relentless. It requires you to be a different person in every waking moment. But here is the curiosity gap that separates the masters from the students. Why is it that you can do all of this? The nouns, the monologues, the breath. Yet the moment you stand in front of a person you want to impress, your throat closes up. Why does the oasis vanish the moment you need it most? It is because you are still protecting your ego. You are still afraid of the social autopsy. You are afraid that if you show the world your broken English, they will see a broken you. But I tell you, a warrior's strength is found in their scars. Are you ready to stop hiding? Are you ready to let the world hear the raw, unpolished sound of your rebirth? Because if you are, the final step is not about words at all. It is about the soul. It is about the coop of confidence. Do you feel the tension in your jaw right now? Good. Use it. Do you feel the racing of your heart? Good. That is the engine of your transformation. Now, tell me, are you a student of rules, or are you a master of the oasis? Listen to the silence that follows my words. That silence is not empty. It is heavy. It is the sound of the translator's pulse fading away. It is the sound of your old, fearful self finally laying down its weapons and surrendering to the truth. Look at the journey you have just taken. You started in the parched, cracked earth of the logic desert, where every word was a struggle and every sentence was a cage. You walked through the fire of the neural coop, tearing down the walls of translation with your bare hands. And now you stand at the edge of the oasis. Can you feel the humidity in the air? Can you smell the fresh water of clarity? This is not just about a language. This is about your legacy. This is about the version of you that refuses to be silenced by a lack of vocabulary or a fear of judgment. Think about the years you wasted feeling small. Think about the meetings where you stayed quiet because you couldn't find the perfect tense. Think about the connections you never made, the stories you never told, and the life you never fully lived because you were waiting for a permission slip from a grammar book. That version of you is dead. We have performed the autopsy. We found that the cause of death was not a lack of intelligence, but a surplus of caution. You were too careful to be great. You were too logical to be fluent. But today, you have chosen the path of the warrior. You have realized that proudly broken English is 1,000 times more powerful than perfectly silent English. Because the broken voice is alive. The broken voice is raw. The broken voice is human. And in this digital, plastic world, humanity is the ultimate currency. You are no longer a student. A student waits to be taught. A student asks, "Is this right?" A warrior asks, "Is this effective?" You are now a practitioner of the oasis. You understand that? Your voice is a weapon, and like any weapon, it must be used to be mastered. Do not go back to the desert. Do not let the dust of correctness settle on your skin again. When you leave this sanctuary, the world will try to pull you back. The world loves to judge. People will hear your accent. They will notice your mistakes. And they will try to put you back in the cage of the learner. Let them judge the lion for the way he roars. Let them judge the storm for the way it breaks the trees. Their judgment is their prison. Your expression is your freedom. You have the silent power now. You know that even when you don't have the words, you have the present. You have the breath. You have the spirit. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself a year from now. You are standing in a room full of people. You are speaking. The words are flowing out of you like a river that has finally found the sea. You aren't thinking about grammar. You aren't thinking about translation. You are just sharing your soul. You see the people in front of you leaning in. They aren't looking for mistakes. They are looking for you. They are feeling the energy of your conviction. They are moved by the raw, unbreakable power of your communication. In that moment, you realize that the oasis was never a place you had to find. It was a place you had to become. You are the oasis. Your voice is the sanctuary. Every time you speak without fear, you create a space where others can do the same. This is your rebirth. This is the moment you stop being a passenger in your own life and start being the captain of your own narrative. The sun is setting on the desert of your past. The shadows are long, but they no longer scare you. You know the way through the dark. You have the system. You have the mindset. You have the obsession. This is not the end of the video. This is the beginning of your empire. But a kingdom is not built on thoughts. It is built on actions. A warrior does not just listen to the call. A warrior answers it. If you have felt the earth shake beneath your feet today, if you have felt the heat of the neural coup in your blood, then you owe it to your future self to plant a flag. You are part of the English Oasis now. We do not accept mediocrity. We do not accept the status of a slave. We claim our throne through raw, brutal, and beautiful speech. Your final task is one of identity. Before you walk away, before you go back to the real world, you must anchor this transformation. Say it out loud, not in your head. Use your jaw. Use your breath. Let the vibrations hit the walls of the room you are in. Say, I am the warrior of the oasis. My voice is my weapon. My English is my power. Say it until you believe it. Say it until the translator in your head trembles in fear. This is your legacy. This is your unbreakable path. Subscribe to this revolution if you are ready to sharpen your weapon every single day. Leave a comment below with the word reborn if you have killed the translator today. Let the world see our numbers. Let the world hear our roar. We are the ones who speak through the cracks. We are the ones who find power in the struggle. We are the English Oasis. And we have only just begun. The desert is behind you. The kingdom is yours. Now, go out there and speak like the king you were born to be. The silence is over. Your life begins now.